Welcome back to another episode of the Scottsdale Vibes Podcast. I'm your host, Alicia Haygood. It is the last month of 2021, which to me is just completely crazy. This month and this year, just kind of went by so fast. But the holiday season is upon us. It is in full force. We have lots of shopping to do, which means lots of opportunities for thefts to come at us, whether it's car thefts, front door thefts, thieves taking your packages. And don't forget about staying safe with your online identity. So there's only one person I need to reach out to, and that's Scottsdale Police Officer Robert Katzaroff. And we are going to take a short break. When we come back, I have Officer Katzaroff at the table with me. All my fake commercial breaks going in here. All right. One would think that a 25-year veteran of the Scottsdale Police Department has seen it all, but it might be the 5 kids at home that really keeps Officer Robert Katzaroff on his toes. His first career as a baseball player brought him and his wife of 25 years here to Scottsdale in the early 90s, and ever since making Scottsdale home, he has given his all to this community. Here to tell us some tips on staying safe this holiday season is Scottsdale Police Officer Robert Katzaroff. It's so good to see you and have you back at the table with me.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Well, this holiday season is upon us. We've survived Thanksgiving. I'm filled up on this, but it's shopping season. We are in full force. You have just a few weeks left to do, which means this is prime time for us to really need to be extra careful right now. So let's just start with it. What are some ways that we can stay safe out there? Because you are the number one person that's going to teach me this.
Well, thank you. We have a lot of people going out and shopping, obviously, for Christmas or Hanukkah or the other holidays that may be celebrated. And with all the different supply chain problems that we have had, there's going to be a lot of people who are stressed and trying to get their gifts that they're going to give. So what I like to tell people when they're shopping, there's a few different ways that we can shop. Obviously, a very popular way is the online shopping, where you can have packages delivered to your door, the next day by Amazon or FedEx or UPS. Mm-hmm. All the stores are doing a lot of that type of service for us now, which is great. But the thing that we're seeing with it is that it has increased in our package thefts. People will follow that UPS van or the unmarked Amazon van around, and they'll look at what they deliver, and then they'll go up and just start taking the package.
I didn't even think about that. That's exactly what they're doing, is driving around. I'm so not a thief, as you can tell. But that makes sense. And I love what you just said, too. With the supply chain issues, we are shopping more, which I really like. We're able to support our local businesses here in Scottsdale and stuff, which is really important. And I like that, which kind of leads us also to the burglaries and the car, break-ins as well in the parking lots. What are some ways to protect us when we're out shopping?
Well, the thing that I like to tell people is that you can prevent almost all of these burglaries from vehicles if you do 2 things.
Okay.
One is if you lock your doors.
Okay.
So don't forget, lock that door as you go. Make sure you hear the beep.
Yeah.
The second thing is to make sure you don't have anything of value in your car.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes that's not possible because maybe we've just been at a store and we bought some gifts and now we're going to go to another store. Mm-hmm. Or we're taking with us some things that we've had from home. So the way that you can manage that is to hide those things, preferably in the trunk of your car.
Okay.
If you put it in the trunk of your car, then it's not visible to somebody who's just walking by, and so they may move on to the next car. What I will caution people, though, is do it before you leave. Okay. So if I know I'm going to go shopping and all I'm going to take into the store with me is my wallet and keys, and I have, well, maybe not me, but somebody has a purse with them or a bag or something else, as you're getting into your car to leave from your house, throw that bag into the trunk.
Okay.
And then lock it up, and then when you get to the store, then you don't have to put anything away because there are sometimes people watching the parking lots and seeing who's coming and going. But this way, they won't see you putting anything into the trunk, which may make them think, hey, there might be something there.
What about someone like me who drives an SUV? So my trunk is visible too.
Well, that's a problem. I have the same problem. I have a truck, and there's no way to hide stuff. And if that's the case, then I strongly suggest that if you do go shopping, you might need to just make multiple trips and take things back with you to the house and then go back out. I know it's not great for your gas mileage, but it does help protect you from being the victim of a theft.
How common are they here in Scottsdale, these burglary thefts and stuff?
Well, in reading the reports every week, at least for the district that I work in, which is everything north of Cactus, there's anywhere from 1 to 4 burglary from vehicles every week.
Oh, okay.
Which is not a lot, given the geographical area that is, Cactus all the way up to Bartlett Lake, basically.
Yeah.
And they don't always occur at shopping centers. Some are done, actually a lot of them are done in somebody's own driveway. And that's because they either leave their car unlocked or they have left things in there that people see. And so as they're going around, if they see something that's of value, they may be more likely to break the window. And if you leave your doors unlocked, they may be more likely to open it up and just check out what's inside.
Speaking of locking your doors at night, I did have a neighbor who just happened to forget the one night. He's usually really good about it. And they got into his car, opened the garage because the garage door opener was in the car, and then stole everything out of the garage that was in there while they were sleeping at night.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, that was my neighborhood. But I'm notorious too for it goes to show, going back to what you said at the beginning, the people that following the Amazon delivery trucks around and stuff, I'm notorious for having a bunch of stuff in my car. So making multiple trips in and out of the car and to the house. But I'm always leaving everything open. My trunk is wide open on my garage, and stuff like that. They could just drive by right there and take something.
Yeah, unfortunately, safety and security is never convenient. Just look at the airports for that. We used to go on a plane. You show up, you walk right up to the gate and get on if you had a ticket. Now, you have to go through the TSA check and, it can be an hour and a half, 2 hours before you even get back to where the gate is. But that's security, and it takes time. So same thing with your house and your car, and when you're shopping, is security and safety of your property and yourself can take more time. And so, especially people who work from their car or who do a lot of shopping or are out that whole day, they have to find ways to protect themselves and their property. And part of that is just by being smart, watching who's around you, to see if there's that suspicious person who's kind of checking out the comings and goings of everybody, or maybe you might be pulling up into a parking spot and you see somebody kind of checking out the car next to you. You're not affected, but if you call that in and get us out there to come and check out who that person is, you may save not only your neighbor's car, but eventually they may get around to your car.
Yeah.
So calling in those suspicious activity, those suspicious people is always a good thing.
Yeah.
And then, again, locking your doors and hiding whatever you may have in your car as best you can so that it doesn't become the target vehicle.
Yeah. Let's go back a little bit to this online shopping, because we all do it. It is a huge part of all of our lives. I know you have Amazon packages every day yourself, I'm sure. Identity theft, huge problem. Let's talk about that, some ways to protect ourselves. And I want to hear from you too, some alarms that we should go off if we suspect something, or what should we watch for to look at identity theft to protect ourselves from it.
Well, again, reading all these reports every week, when I say there's only 1 to 4 burglary from vehicles, there's usually 10 to 20 identity theft or related reports that we take. Most of those are caused by people who don't see the red flag, the thing that they should, in knowing that this is probably a scam. So when you're online or on your phone, if you ever receive an email or a link on a text, never click on them unless you know for sure that it's from a legitimate company or a person that you trust.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the ways that they can hack into your computer and gain control of it. But the other red flags are when people try to build a sense of urgency that you need to do something to avoid being a victim, or we have your daughter here who's just been in an accident and it was their fault, but if you give us $500, then we'll send her on her way.
Dang.
But they try to create this sense of urgency that something bad is going to happen if you don't act right away. Well, that should be your first red flag. Second red flag would be how they're asking you to pay. because typically they're going to ask you to go out and get gift cards or pay by Venmo or Zelle or one of those other very convenient apps. But if you don't know who you're sending the money to, you have no recourse either. It used to be the wire transfer from Western Union, but now it's more of these very convenient apps that just have you send money, and then once you do that, the money's gone. And the gift cards, they'll have you read the numbers and the codes, and once you do that, they take the money out right away, and it's gone. So you have to be cautious of how they're asking you to pay for things as well. And then the last thing is, if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
I love that. That's a great line. How are you and the other officers doing this year?
Great.
Yeah?
You know, Scottsdale's an awesome place to work. The citizens that we serve here are fantastic.
Good.
They're very supportive of the police department. When we get called out there, they're always happy that we're coming out, maybe other than the bad guys. But, you know, it's a great working relationship that we have with our citizens. And we understand as a police department that we're far outnumbered.
Yeah.
And we need that cooperation from our citizens. And so we try to do our best to keep everybody happy and do the best job that we can. But working in Scottsdale is truly a nice thing. We still encounter the guys who are committing the crimes, but the difference that I like to say is that when we come responding, again, those citizens are happy that we've come.
Yeah. How has crime been overall in the city this year?
You know, Scottsdale's one of, or if not the safest city in Arizona. So crime is not any different than it's ever been before.
That's good.
I know, you know, nationwide you see,
right,
you know, an increase in shoplifts and the strong-armed robberies. You know, just the other day they had the San Francisco incident at Nordstrom's. I'm not going to say that we don't have any property crimes, but we don't have mass property crimes like that. You know, we have our share, and it's been pretty steady this year as it was last year and in the years before that.
That's good to hear.
And we do a very good job of investigating those crimes when we get leads and trying to hold people accountable.
That's good to hear. Well, I want to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to get a little personal. Officer Katzaroff, I want to hear about some of your favorite holiday memories. I'm sure you have some with 5 kids and just what you're looking forward to this month. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. Caught you off guard with that last question, some didn't I?
No, it was good.
You got it.
I know you're always going to come up with something.
All right. Welcome back. I have Officer Robert Katzaroff with me at the table. We're just talking about how to stay safe this holiday season, how to keep your belongings safe, and how to keep your identity safe. But I want to kind of talk about you a little bit. And you have been in Scottsdale for 25 years. So you're a father of 5, almost all grown kids. What are some of your favorite holiday memories that you have here in the area?
Well, I have to go back first, because if I don't, and my wife is listening, I'll get in trouble. We've actually been married, it'll be 30 years this December.
I apologize.
That's okay, but that's important.
It is.
And we've been here since 1992, and we came from Southern California. So when you talk about favorite holiday memories, I kind of have 2 versions, because there's a version of when I was growing up, and I always remember every Christmas Eve, the whole family got together. So it was all my siblings, my aunts and uncles, my grandparents, and we'd all get together at our house after we go to church and have a lasagna dinner or whatever it was that we had. And it just made it so that we were all so close that it didn't matter if we were missing each other for 6 months. That day, it was like we were together the day before. So that's always fond memories of growing up. But coming out here to Arizona, you know, I moved away from family.
Yeah.
It became more about the immediate family of my kids, my wife, and, you know, fortunately we do have some of her family in town too. But favorite holiday memories, it's basically, you know, opening up gifts on Christmas Eve, sharing a dinner with family, and just being with the people that you love.
It makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
I was talking to my sister about this, and really the holidays for us, and I'm sure, and it sounds like the same for you, it's just the traditions. You know, it doesn't matter what you get or what you eat. You know, it's just being together and forming those traditions to have something to look forward to every year at this time of year.
Well, it kind of matters about what you eat. but yeah, I mean, if I was eating with people I didn't like, it wouldn't be as good anyway. So, yes.
That's fair enough. Do y'all, have you brought any of that, like your Christmas Eve traditions from your past family into your family? Do y'all go to church and come back and eat the lasagna and do all that now?
We've kind of changed in ways,
Yeah.
because my parents always played the music
Okay.
at the 5 o'clock mass
Okay.
on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And so we would go and be with them and do
Yeah.
that. It's different now. We just find the time that we're going to go. So sometimes we may decide we're going to do midnight mass.
Okay.
Or, the next time we'll wake up in the morning and go, or we try to fit it in before. So there's no set tradition with that. But we always try to get together with family,
That's good.
have a good meal, and spend time together.
Well, do you think you've been on the naughty or nice list for Santa this year?
What do you think?
I don't know. You're in
Well,
full uniform. I'm going to go nice list.
I better ask my wife. I hope she says the nice list.
I love it. Well, before we end, Officer Katzaroff, two last questions. What are your favorite things to do during Scottsdale? I know we got Scottsdazzle going on, so there's 45 events going on this month. Lots of opportunities to be out, so stay safe while you're out in Old Town doing everything fun. Do you and your wife like doing anything? Special nights? I know the Princess is doing their fantastic Christmas event that we've enjoyed. What are some of your favorite things to do in Scottsdale here?
Yeah, we've done a lot of the Christmas celebration over at the Princess with the tree lighting, and we'll take the whole family, and that's a lot of fun. The other things that we've done, a lot of them are down by the canal, where they have a lot of great events, the art festival or Crush Brew we went to a few years ago.
Okay.
And we actually, my wife and I volunteered
Very cool.
the Friday so that we could come back on Saturday for free.
I love it. I do the same thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and those are always fun. I do recommend strongly that if you're going to these events that are downtown and there's alcohol being served, that you do Uber.
Yes.
Or catch a ride with somebody who is sober.
Yes.
That's always important, and it saves you money in the long run.
Oh, yeah.
In case you get a DUI.
Thousands of dollars were saved, yes.
So that's always a good recommendation. But yeah, there's so many great things to do in Old Town, and then up north too, with the Princess.
Yeah.
Doing things, and then over at Westworld we have a ton of events, especially we have the Barrett Jackson coming up.
Yep.
We have the Open that's going to be here in January.
Full force.
And then the horse show. So I mean, we're getting into our busy season now that the weather is getting nice, and for the next 5 months we're going to be rocking and rolling.
I love it. I love it, though. I feel so happy seeing Scottsdale whole again. It was a rough year, and to see everyone come back and fill the city, it's been good to see. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
One last question I ask everyone before they leave. Officer Katzaroff, what is your favorite Scottsdale vibe?
I don't think you can beat the golf in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah? What's your handicap? I just learned this word, by the way. What's your handicap?
Well, my truthful handicap is 13.
Okay. Is that good or bad? See, I didn't even know the question.
Yeah, it's average.
Okay.
So
I went and played Top Golf with my dad, and let's just say the more we played, the worse we got, and we weren't good to begin with. So I'm going to stick to putt-putting and that before I even take it off the main course.
That's probably a good idea. But, golf it's such a fun activity to do.
Yeah.
Because you're competing against yourself.
Yes,
and there's, like I said, there's so many nice courses out here. I played Greyhawk a ton this summer.
Nice.
But I played Troon. I've played Desert Mountain. I'm hoping for DC Ranch, so if anybody's listening and wants to put out an invite, let me know.
I got it.
I mean, just the golf here in Arizona, but particularly in Scottsdale, is fantastic.
I love that. I didn't know you were a golfer. I'll have to keep that in mind. Well, Officer Katzaroff, I hope you and your family have a wonderful holiday. Thank you so much for keeping us safe. You and all your men out there, and women officers too, you're much appreciated. I'm glad that you feel that from us.
Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great holiday as well.
Thank you.